Okay, so getting the Kimura, okay, there's the basic concept behind the Kimura, which is that I'm going to pick a side, I'm going to frame on Derek's arm, I'm going to control, I'm going to sit up, all right, I'm going to grab my wrist. Now here's where I see a lot of people, they just try to dive on the Kimura, and what I don't want to do, I want to manipulate his arm, okay, by pulling the elbow forward, keeping his hand away from him being able to grab his own gi or hide his arm, okay, and manipulate his shoulder at the same time. So when I do that, this elbow that I have going in is gonna pinch back, okay, so I create that little, I want to offset Derek's base, right? If I can get Derek to go one way or the other and kind of offset his center line, he loses strength when I do that. So when I pull the elbow, I knock him off the center line, it makes this arm a little bit weaker. I grab my wrist, and then I pull the Kimura back, okay? When I'm pulling this Kimura back, I'm making sure that there's no chance that he can get his hand to his body, all right? Now, my elbow that's up top here is biting, it's clamping down on his shoulder, all right? My elbows are sucking into my body, and I'm pulling his elbow to my chest. Okay, now what I want to do is I don't want to use my arms. Everyone tries to finish the Kimura by doing it like this. I want everything in my body, my elbows, everything connected as one, okay, so that it's my whole body versus his arm. Then I'm going to slowly turn my body into Derek. Okay, and it shouldn't take a whole lot because what I want to do is I want to clamp everything down. I want to try to pull all the slack out of Derek's arm, and then I want to bite down on it. Okay, so anytime you attack an arm lock, think about it like you want to remove all the slack. Okay, especially in the flexible people, the tighter that you can get the rubber band through their whole body, the easier you can get it to snap. Where if you're just loose with everything, that's why sometimes it takes longer for that person to tap because you're not setting it in correctly. So there's a lot of different ways to get to the Kimura. A lot of people are going to be postured up like this, right? So sometimes I'll go to like, I'm going to shift my body this way, right? Clamp onto the wrist or clamp onto the gi. And then I'm going to reach back and I'm going to grab the elbow here. And what I want to do is I want to flare the elbow out, just like this. Then I dive it in, right? Depending on what's going on here, I'll either keep this grip here and try to get the finish, which won't be nearly as efficient, okay? Or I'm gonna feed this hand through here. The biggest thing that you wanna do with the Kimura is one, control their posture so they don't come into you. That way, you're always actively clamping down on their shoulder. And then two, keeping their hand away from their body, okay? So when I let go of this, I wanna pull the hand and the arm as far away from the body as possible so that I can go to here, all right? Once I go to here, again, clamp this elbow down. This elbow, my elbow in his shoulder is what controls his posture. If I'm lazy with this is why you see people right here posture up and then circle out, because I'm lazy with the pressure I'm putting down on his shoulder. So when I go here and I clamp, okay, now come into me, okay, that clamp is what controls his posture so that I can make sure that I'm finishing the angle correctly. And that comes from offsetting his center line. If he was here centered up with me and my center line's off center, then he a lot of times can escape that position. But he has his center line where his spine runs and I have mine. Most people do their Kimura where they attack it off their own center line being compromised, okay? And I don't think it's as efficient. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but the nice thing is if I can re-bring this posture down, right? And I can offset his center line and straighten mine, I regain my ability to have the strength to use my whole body, and he's defending with his arm now. So that's kind of what I try to look for when I finish the Kimura, is offsetting their center line and reinstating my center line. So I have my whole body to use.